Hi everybody, I'm Dan Pilla, author of 15 books on dealing with the IRS and tax litigation consultant with more than 40 years of experience in helping people with IRS problems. I'm going to bring you an important message here in this video. It's going to take a couple minutes to get through it, but this is a critical message that every American taxpayer needs to hear. Now, when I'm done with this video, I want you to like it and share it across social media so that all Americans get this message. This message is going to bring calm to those folks that are facing filing deadlines and payment deadlines in the midst of the COVID-19 crisis that we're dealing with. So stick with me through this video and then like it and share it. This is vitally important information. You know, last week there were 3 different changes that the IRS made, that the Treasury Department made to IRS rules and regulations, and they've created a lot of confusion. And I want to sort through this so that everybody understands what the status of the procedures are for filing and payment. So let's start with the most recent changes. I'm not even going to talk about the old ones. That's old news now. We're getting changes every single day here, it seems like. So the most recent changes that I'm talking about came from IRS Notice 2020-18, which was issued on March 20th, which was just last Friday. So now here's where we're at with the filing extension. This notice changes the filing extension from April 15th to July 15th. So it gives us a 3-month extension on filing the tax returns, and this is automatic. You don't need to file an application to get this extension. It has automatically been moved to July 15th, and this is for the filing of the tax returns now, all right? So let's understand that we're talking about tax return filings here. All right, the second thing I want you to understand is that there are some people that might need more than 90 days to file their tax returns. If you need more than 90 days, you still have the option available of using IRS Form 4868. Form 4868 is entitled Application for Automatic Extension of Time to File the Tax Return. The rule with that is it has to be filed on or before the due date to get you 6 additional months. Now, remember, the due date is pushed from April to July 15th. So if you need more time than that, you can file the Form 4868 on or before July 15th and get another 6 months in which to file your tax return. That would give you a total of a 9-month extension if you need that kind of time. If you're a business, such as a corporation or a partnership or some other type of business that files its tax return separately, you can use IRS Form 7004, Application for Automatic Extension of Time for a Certain Business Tax Return, to get you 6 additional months to file your business tax return. All right, so keep that in mind now. Now let's move to the payment extension. All right, by order of the IRS on March the 20th, the payment due date was pushed from April 15th to July 15th. All right, so you got an additional 90 days to July 15th to pay your taxes without penalties and without interest. All right, and again, this is automatic. You do not have to file an extension in order to get this additional time. It's automatic to July 15th of 2020 to pay your 2019 tax return. But now the question is, what if 90 days isn't going to be enough time for you? Well, the IRS has always had a procedure in place that would allow you to get an additional time to pay your taxes. They just don't tell anybody about it. And I'm astonished, friends, that even in the chaos of the COVID-19 crisis, the Treasury Department still has not stepped up and told the truth to the public about the right to get an extension of time to pay taxes. But this has been in the law forever. As long as I've been in this business, this right has existed. And the IRS even has a form for it. It's Form 1127. It's called Application for an Extension of Time to Pay Your Taxes. If you file this form on or before the due date of the payment, which is now July 15th, you can get up to 6 additional months to pay your taxes. Now, understand that this payment extension is not automatic. I'm talking about the 6-month additional payment period is not automatic. In order to get that application granted, 2 things. Number 1, it's got to be filed by the due date of the tax, which is now July 15th. Number 2, you have to demonstrate that payment of the tax would cause hardship. Hardship is defined in law as the inability of a person to pay necessary living expenses. So if you've been laid off, or if your time has been significantly cut at work, or you're in a position where you just simply don't have enough income to be able to pay your living expenses, that is the definition of hardship, all right? So the IRS is very likely under these circumstances to grant that additional time to pay. So now we've got the automatic extension of time to pay from April 15th to July 15th, and then an additional potential 6-month extension of time from July 15th, that would be to January 15th of 2021, in which to pay the taxes. So keep this in mind now, friends. You've got these important options that are available for you. Now I want to give you another option here that's available. If you can't pay your taxes within any of the extended time periods, then you need to use IRS Form 9465. Form 9465 is called an installment agreement request, and that will set the wheels in motion to get you set up on an installment agreement where you can pay your taxes over time based on how much you owe. So the thing you got to keep in mind with the Form 9465 is that does not give you penalty relief, and it does not give you interest relief. The automatic extension from April 15th to July 15th is both penalty relief and interest relief. So keep that in mind. The 1127 form is not automatic, but if it's granted, it'll grant penalty relief, but not interest relief. So keep that in mind as well. Now, a lot of people ask, if these automatic extensions from from April 15th to July 15th covers business taxes. And the answer is no. These extensions only apply to personal income taxes and business income taxes. It does not apply to any other tax. So if you've got an obligation to file an employment tax return, for example, or a federal excise tax return, or you have to make employment tax deposits of your withholding on your employees, those deadlines have not changed. It's important to understand this, friends. These automatic extensions that I'm talking about apply only to income taxes, not to any other type of taxes such as excise taxes or employment taxes. Now, people are asking me, well, what about state taxes? Well, each state that has an income tax has its own rules. What the IRS did does not necessarily apply to state taxes. However, a lot of states have already jumped in to parrot what the IRS has done. Many states have already granted extensions. Some states have not moved yet. I expect that we're going to see, and this is just my guess now, but I expect we're going to see across the board extensions by all states that have income taxes. But you need to check with your state Department of Revenue's website to see what they have done with their own extensions. Now, one more thing I want to talk about here, and that's penalty relief. Even if the IRS penalizes you for failure to file or failure to pay, in these tumultuous times, penalty relief is always available when you can show that you exercise reasonable business care and prudence in providing for your taxes, but due to circumstances beyond your control, you couldn't pay on time. Well, I'm sure that you will agree with me that what's going on out there today is all circumstances beyond our control. All right, there's no question about that. So even if you're penalized for failure to file or failure to pay, you can get those penalties canceled by demonstrating reasonable cause and that you did not deliberately disregard IRS rules and regulations. I've got 2 of my books, Dan Pilla's Small Business Tax Guide and the IRS Problem Solver. Each have chapters in them on dealing with penalties, both business and individual penalties. So if you're penalized by the IRS, you need to review this material so it can show you exactly how to get rid of these penalties. All right, folks? So I want to encourage you to look at that material and understand what your rights are here going forward. One more point I want to make to you, friends. I want to very much encourage you to like this video and share it with all your friends on social media. This is a message that needs to get out to the public so people understand what their options are and understand that they don't have to panic if you owe the IRS money or you can't get your return filed even by the extended due date. Don't panic, friends. There's options available. The Form 4868 can get you 6 more months beyond July 15th. The Form 1127 can get you 6 more months to pay beyond the July 15th deadlines. So again, like this video, share this video. Let's get this message out to the American people so they understand what their rights are, because even in this crisis, the IRS is still not telling the truth about all the options we have with the taxpayers' rights that are available. And in particular, this option of Form 1127. The IRS has lied to people about this for 60 years that I'm aware of, 40 years that I personally have been involved in this business. They've been lying about this right. And even in the midst of this crisis, they can't tell people the truth about their rights. So please like this video and share this video. And friends, stay safe, keep your family safe, and stay healthy. God bless one and all of you. Thank you. And wash your hands, for God's sake.